Will was saying he was rooming with you, was he? And he said that you had to do a big presentation today.
Yeah, myself.
Is it done? Yeah.
Yeah, presentation's done, and I roomed with Will, Connors and Jimmy O'Brien, the three Kildare lads, and so they're able to help me prepare for the Kildare presentation that I made this morning. So there's a lot of us from Kildare who are in the squad at the minute. So I gave the lads a look into the history of the club and how we're doing at the minute, and I explained how the club has a rich history since 1880 and how it's kind of going from strength to strength at the minute, double promotion in the last two competitions, and into 1B now. So it's even in an even better spot at the minute than it was when I was here.
That's brilliant. Yeah, and then you're a bit like Will in that you've got a bit of a GAA background as well, don't you? Like.
Yeah. So I would have played with St Lawrence's just up the road. I played football and hurling there. Hurling would have been kind of my main sport in the club, and then I played a lot of football in school as well, and football in Lawrence's as well. Yeah.
And then how did it all, I suppose, how did you, because this is the great thing now that there's more and more lads coming in from outside that kind of traditional kind of school system. I know you'd what was your own journey into it then? How did Leinster pick you up then? Yeah.
I came up through the Leinster Youth pathway. And so I began playing North Midlands, and then I kind of worked myself through the underage youth system, so the Leinster Youths, Leinster 19s, Leinster 20s, Irish 20s, and then into the academy from there. And then last year got promoted into the senior squad. So that's pretty much my route. There's more and more players coming into the academy and the senior squad from that pathway. Which obviously we're as youth players delighted about that.
Yeah. And then for the likes of with a lot of the guys who came and they're seeing you, a local guy playing as well. I was kind of thinking, did you ever get a chance to go out and see the likes of maybe Jeremy or Joey Carberry, who's kind of from the area as well, when you were kind of a young lad?
Yeah, so they would have been about 4 years older than me, so I would have been keeping an eye on their pathway. Obviously they took a slightly different pathway than I did, in that they both went to Blackrock, whereas I played my year of senior rugby here when I was in sixth year. So it's slightly different, but I would have definitely been looking at them and kind of inspired by them. Another one I would have definitely been inspired by from the youth pathway point of view is Sean OBrien. Obviously such an icon of the club and of the country. So he would have been a massive inspiration for me as well. Obviously he would have been at the absolute top of his game when I was a teenager.
Yeah, and what's because he probably has a weird one for him. Any coach who's in their first season has to kind of distance himself in a way, if he would have been a player for so long as well, but what's he kind of been like when he's been back around? Is he joking with everybody as well, having the crack, or is he having to kind of hang out with Leo and the boys and kind of
he does both. He does both. So he obviously he's friendly with a lot of the lads who would have played with. My first year academy overlapped with his time in Leinster a small bit, but not too much. He's been a really good addition already for us since Dennis left last year. He's helping us with a lot of our contact skills and doing really good stuff.
Yeah, and then I think you made your debut was kind of Rainbow Cup that bit at the end of the 2021 season. But last season's games, was anything stood out for you as a kind of big moment for you last season when you were playing? Yeah,
so my first game of last season for the senior squad came against Edinburgh at home, and that was the first game I played in front of the RDS crowd and the support, which was very special. So it was the first time my family, friends got to see me run out in the RDS. So that's probably the highlight of last year. It was a special day.
And what's the big hope now for this season? Even Will was saying he's hoping to feature now against Harlequins as well. Everybody's probably itching because there's only one pre-season game, one chance to impress.
Exactly.
Same for you?
Yeah. It's all coming on very quickly now, and we'll be in the thick of it soon enough. Hopefully start well is half the battle. So start well. Hopefully, if I'm involved in some of the early games, start well, whether it be senior or A rugby. Start well and build on from last year.
And the last one I was going to ask you was just you mentioned Sean OBrien. Now you could have somebody else who's a kind of a hero when you were growing up, a guy you kind of looked up to or a player you looked up to.
From Athy or?
No, just any rugby player.
Yeah, it definitely would. For me, it definitely would have been Sean OBrien, and Tyke Furlong then as well from the youth pathway. both at the top of their game. You know, when I was kind of starting to take it more seriously. So definitely Tig and Sean. Definitely.
Yeah, because you're looking at them and you're kind of in a tie. You know, like not that.
Yeah. It's a very similar pathway than what I would have been looking ahead to, and hoping to be a part of. So yeah, the two of them would definitely be it.